Hafa day, everyone. This is Taotao Tåsi, Part 3 in the Pacific, on this imaginative audio voyage through the Pacific Ocean with the traditional Master Navigator of the sea, Palu Larry Raigetal. And if you're new here, start back at Part 1 on the beach, where our fictional sakman, canoe, was ready to brave the Pacific Ocean when Palu Larry performed an old Micronesian chant, the one you hear now. It's called Sumatau, and it opened the sea lanes to connect our canoe to the breadfruit tree on the island that we seek in the Marianas Islands. In Taotao Tåsi Part 2, in the lagoon, our family and friends all gathered to help push our canoe into the lagoon, to get beyond the reef. And during the rhythm of our paddling and trying to catch wind in our sails, the chant to open the ocean reminded us to honor and respect the serene and dangerous Pacific Ocean, to embrace the connectedness that we share with the deepest part of the world, the Marianas Trench. And now, we're beyond the reef. We're far from home. We're in the open Pacific Ocean. And the only thing visible was the horizon, all around us. The sky is a pretty light blue, almost white, and the air, so fresh, so crisp. It's wait. You know this is make-believe, right? This is a make-believe voyage. I mean, Palu Larry is real, 100% real, and so are his teachings. But I'm recording this story from the comforts of my home in Alameda, California. I think it's important to make that clear. So let's get back to this imaginative voyage, yeah? Now that we're beyond the reef in the open Pacific Ocean, the wind is strong and it burns my face. It fills my lungs and makes my eyes squint. I'm like, thank goodness I got these sunglasses. I don't know how our ancestors did it without sunglasses, for real. Then I start to think about the advice that someone gave me before going on this voyage, and it was from Sandro Okada. Do what Palu says. And so my job, what Palu told me to do, is to document this journey in hopes that it can inspire you to learn more about our traditions and maybe even join us on the next voyage. We're finally settled. Larry takes the opportunity now to introduce himself to us. He recognizes our faith in trusting his instinct and his directions to get us here.
My name is Larry Raigetal. I am an assistant professor at the University of Guam. Come from the island of Lamatrek in Micronesia, and a navigator under the traditional navigation school of Guåhan.
What you hear now is Ocean Beyond by Sabiu on his EP, Navigator.
Taotao Tåsi people of the land, Taotao Tåsi people of the ocean, but I think before we became the people of the land, we were people of the ocean. I am a Warrian, so I come from the Warrian School of Navigation, which is Carolinian. But I also know, like Manford, Lulap, those schools existed long before us, and they come from you. I don't know whether there's still any of those in the Marianas. Perhaps maybe, perhaps not. But the important thing was that their knowledge, we learn it.
As the guardians of this earned and very ancient knowledge, I want to recognize how hard this must be for POW navigators. I can't even begin to imagine the constant battle one might have with what they can share, what they can't share, and the scrutiny one might receive by proactively sharing their culture and hope for it to continue. Because it comes with the risk of that same culture that you're trying to protect and honor and continue may be abused by other people who take advantage of the things that we hold so incredibly sacred. Hashtag Indigenous sovereignty. The wind is strong now, so I'm going to voice over with Larry as he describes a fascinating mental construct for navigation. There's different names of this technique across Pacifica and the stars that are associated with it. As navigators are trained to identify the stars from the place where they come out of the ocean and the place where they go right back into the ocean. They name 32 points around every island and use it as a system of reference for organizing directional and information to recall the location, the nearest island, or the next point. It's every island. You could be on Guam. You have 32. You go up to Rota. You have 32. You go up to Tinian. You have another 32. Saipan, another 32. Of course, there are going to be crossings. You go down to my island of Lamatruck, you have 32. And some of them link me back to Guam and Tinian and Rota and Saipan.
I mean, I can give you the 32 different points of the Marianas. Guam, for example, has 32 waypoints around it.
It includes the Marshall Islands,
it includes
Ponape,
it includes
some birds to the south of the island in Malesu. It includes some reef. It includes another reef. Up to Tokyo, to Maug, to Pagan.
We call it Guåhan, which means I'm sitting on Guam and I go under this star, this star, this star, this star, and I see all of this land, bird, fish, reef, whales, Guåhan, or Bugof. Bugof is when you're mixing land and creatures of the ocean.
I can tell you the stories of whales, and when we see them, it's a good indication, like, oh, we're here.
And we need to go under this.
Wait, whales? Ballenas? Can you tell us more about these whales? Those two whales. Okay, yeah, you hit them. Northeast of Guam. Saipan is there. Tinian, Rota is here. Because we use them in our Buguf, in our language.
The two whales that are in the chant of Onap, Borsa and Warsa.
In English, Borsa and Warsa whales are referred to as humpback whales.
Peculiar behavior of the whales was that they would have a tendency to come right up under the outrigger float and just play with it as if they're pushing it up and lowering it down to have the outrigger float right on their backs. And these were Borsa and Warsa whales.
I really admired the humility of Palu Larry. He made sure to pay his respects to those who come before him multiple times throughout this interview.
But I know
that it couldn't have been possible for that Book of Guam to be passed on to my ancestors had it not been somebody from Guam of that great generation of navigators who went and identified all 32 points around their island, and they passed that knowledge down and shared with each other.
But it had to be by exchange.
It had to be by exchange.
It had to be by exchange.
In the deep West Pacific Ocean, it had to be by exchange. Thank you for listening to Red Rice and Finadeni. I'll see you next time on Taotao Tåsi in the open.